Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday, the 2nd of August. Reading through the book of Jeremiah with McShane, we read chapter 29, and in it Jeremiah sends a letter from Jerusalem to the exiles in Babylon. At that point, people were saying to them, we're about to go home. There were various false prophets that had arisen and said, all the articles will be brought back to the Lord's temple. Everything's going to be fine again within 2 years. Jeremiah had a different message. From verse 4, "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says to those I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and settle down. Plant gardens and eat what they produce. Marry and have sons and daughters. Find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. Also, seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper." And as I read that, I thought, here is Jeremiah essentially with bad news, saying to the exiles, you're going to be here so long, settle down. Build houses. If you're just going to be there for a short time, live in tents or whatever, but build houses and plant fields, because you're not going to miss out. You're going to benefit from what you've done, because you're going to be there for a long time. And we know that they were there for 70 years. And so they would have had their sons and daughters married, and they would have seen their children and their children's children, because God was saying, stay there. And we need to listen to God's voice, not the optimistic voices that we like to hear in the world around us. So always a warning. And then just the thought that of what Jeremiah says to them: seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I've carried you. Seek the peace and prosperity of Babylon. Babylon was this oppressive city. Babylon had conquered them and taken them into exile. They were there as prisoners in Babylon. And God says, seek its peace and prosperity. Don't pray for its overthrow and its downfall. Don't pray that things will go badly with it. Pray that things will go well with it. In his common sense, logic, motivation, says, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. When things are going well with the city, you living in the city will have things going well with you as well. And I thought that really is an encouragement to us to pray for our cities. Not because we've got wonderful leaders, not because they're on top of the game and getting things right, but because if things go better with the city, things will go better with our lives as well. And so in the same way that the Israelites were called to pray for the pagan city of Babylon, despite what it was, despite where it was, despite what it did, we too pray for our city, our country. We pray for our world, praying that God will step in, help it, not necessarily change it. We pray he will, but even if he doesn't, we pray for the peace and prosperity of the pagan, godless, sinful city that we live in. Because if God answers that prayer, it'll go well for it and for us. Be blessed.